Let's go back to my colleague Mweli Masilela, who is now following the EFF in Eswatini. Mweli, what are the latest developments on the ground?
The march is about to get underway. We are just a few kilometers away from the border post, which is Oshoek between Eswatini and South Africa. And I can tell you that already behind me are some members of the economic freedom fighters that are part of this march. And they are also joined by some members of different political parties from the kingdom of Eswatini. And the message is clear here. They are saying that they are tired of the current regime in Eswatini. They want the government of Eswatini, or the king, who is currently enjoying his birthday, actually celebrating his birthday today. They are saying that they want political parties to be allowed to operate in the kingdom of Eswatini. But let me bring in the president of PUDEMO. His name is Mlungisi Makhanya. We can see that you are part of the activities today as a member of PUDEMO. If you can tell us, how is the situation currently in the kingdom of Eswatini, considering the fact that we had an unrest last year and a lot of people lost their lives?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mweli, and good morning to Newzroom Afrika viewers. We would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity. The situation in Swaziland continues to be tense. Mswati continues to unleash his security forces on all pro-democracy movement. They have adopted a strategy now where they are employing dirty tactics, where they are appointing properties of pro-democracy leaders. But we are saying, notwithstanding that, we remain undeterred. We want to take this opportunity to thank our comrades, the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters, commissars, and all fighters of the EFF for extending solidarity during the time when Swazis need solidarity the most.
It's not the first time such activities are held in the border post, and some are saying that this is a futile exercise. Are you optimistic that one day you will get what you want, especially as leaders of political parties in the Kingdom of Swaziland?
We are definitely optimistic, but one must hasten to say this is in no way a futile exercise. If you can consider the fact that this is not the only port of entry that is affected by this activity, we have closed all major ports of entries, because one thing that people in the world must know, Mswati has captured most of the businesses in Swaziland. So by closing these ports of entries, we are actually depriving him of economic oxygen. And we are making sure that we hit him where it matters the most, which is the pocket. But we know, in discussion with our comrades, this is just the beginning. We will be upscaling and intensifying our action to make sure that we ultimately force Mswati to give in to the demands of the Swazi people, and the people of Swaziland get to enjoy democracy.
Can you update us also? We know that there are members of parliament that were arrested. We know that there are also some people from the Kingdom of Eswatini that are currently in exile. What is the latest in terms of the court proceedings? Because we know that the last time I checked, they were on trial.
Yes, the trial is still ongoing. But as you would know, there is no independent judiciary in Swaziland. What is happening is that they have done everything to frustrate the members of parliament who are incarcerated. What we are awaiting currently is a judgment of the Supreme Court on the appeal, on the denial of bail. But one must also mention that we are extremely upset by the fact that the Chief Justice, who is nothing but an extension of Mswati, has already attempted to manipulate that judgment by wanting the judges that were sitting hearing that appeal to give him the judgment so that he can submit to Mswati. But we remain undeterred. Our comrades are in high spirit. They continue to encourage us whenever they appear in court that we must continue the fight. We are confident that very soon our leaders will be out and they will join the picket line and will intensify the struggle.
Mlungisi Makhanya, thank you very much for talking to us. That is Mlungisi Makhanya. He is the president of PUDEMO. This is one of the political parties in the Kingdom of Eswatini that have been active for a long time. And from his side, he's saying that, well, they believe that such activities will help in terms of putting pressure on the government of Eswatini to democratize.
And Mweli, very lastly, before we let you go, in terms of reaction perhaps from the police, are you seeing any officers or anyone keeping a close eye on how this protest is developing?
Yes, indeed. When we arrived here quite early in the morning, we saw that there's been quite a lot of police officers that have been deployed. And I spoke to also some of the SARS officials here at the port of entry. And their concern is that there will be disruption, because we know that there is a key port of entry, especially for the Kingdom of Eswatini, as most of the goods that come from the South African side cross through this border post. But as you can see now, these people who are protesting here, they have completely blocked this road, which means that there's no movement of trucks and other vehicles here. And as we have said, you've asked on the issue of law enforcement officers. Actually, at the border post there is a lot of them. They are actually monitoring the situation, and they are saying that they'll make sure that these people who are protesting here, which are members of the economic freedom fighters, as well as members of some political parties from the Kingdom of Eswatini, are not allowed to cross to the side of Eswatini. So I think in terms of law enforcement, everything looks fine at this stage. And judging by the number of people that we are seeing here on the ground, it's quite a less number compared to the previous protest, because this is not the first time members of the economic freedom fighters are protesting here at the Oshoek border post. But they are saying that the reason there are small numbers today is the fact that there are other protests that are taking place in other border posts, which include Mananga, Matamo, as well as Kolela, which is on the KwaZulu-Natal side.
Very well, Mweli Masilela, we leave it there for now. Live from the Oshoek border post, keeping a close eye on the protest there with the EFF members in Eswatini.